The Treasure Cave in the Cliff, A Tale of Discovery. The cliff loomed large before me, its rugged face etched with centuries of wind and rain. I was here for crystals, something I'd often sought out in remote areas. As a rockhound and a collector, finding new crystals was always thrilling, especially in untouched landscapes like this one. I had been digging along the base of this cliff, where veins of quartz and feldspar ran like skeletal fingers through the stone. But as my pick struck a particularly hollow section, something strange happened. The cliff face seemed to echo back. I paused, curious, then struck again, hearing that same hollow sound. Excitement prickled at the back of my neck. The stone here was thinner, and as I carefully chipped away, I uncovered an opening, a small, jagged hole hidden by a slab of rock. As I widened the entrance, my headlamp flickered across what lay inside. It wasn't just a hollow, it was a cavern. My heart pounded as I crawled inside, the light sweeping across walls glittering with mineral deposits. It was beautiful in its own right, but then something else caught my eye. Across the walls, among the natural deposits, were patterns and symbols, faint but unmistakable, carved into the rock. They were ancient, weathered by time, yet still clear enough to suggest they were man-made. This wasn't just any cavern, it was a hidden cave, concealed from the world for centuries. The air inside was heavy, still and cool, carrying with it the scent of earth and stone, but also something different, a hint of mystery, as if the cave itself had stories waiting to be told. I took a few more steps inside, my footsteps echoing faintly. In the center of the cavern lay a pile of what looked like ancient pottery shards, remnants of tools, and more markings. Suddenly, my light reflected off something bright, a metallic glint. I knelt down, brushing away the dust and small rocks, revealing a chest, half buried under rubble and earth. The chest was old, its wood splintered and worn, but its hinges and corners were reinforced with metal that had long since dulled but remained intact. My hands trembled as I cleared more of the debris, uncovering symbols engraved along its surface and intricate pattern that looked like it belonged to an ancient civilization. With a deep breath, I attempted to open the chest, and surprisingly, the lid gave way. Inside, nestled among rotting cloth and layers of dust, were objects that left me speechless. Gold coins, their surfaces engraved with strange symbols and designs, lay in scattered piles, gleaming faintly under my light. Each coin bore an intricate face or figure, some with crowns, others with curious symbols I couldn't recognize. There were gemstones too, their colors vibrant even in the dim light, rubies, emeralds, sapphires, and stones I didn't recognize. They were inlaid in ancient jewelry, necklaces, rings, and bracelets that were almost delicate in their craftsmanship, as if made for royalty. I felt like I had been transported back in time. I carefully picked up a golden necklace, its links impossibly thin yet still strong. It was shaped like a serpent, its head adorned with a ruby that sparkled in the light. Another piece, a ring with an emerald so deep it looked like a forest trapped in stone, bore inscriptions in a language I couldn't understand. I was holding history, pieces of a past so far removed from the present that it felt surreal. Who had left this treasure here? Why had they hidden it so carefully? My mind swirled with questions as I explored the contents of the chest, each item a small fragment of an ancient tale. As I sat there, my excitement mingled with caution. It wasn't just the fear of what else might lie in the shadows of this cave, but also a sense of reverence. This treasure had been hidden away for a reason, and I felt like I was intruding on someone else's secrets. But curiosity drove me forward, and I carefully documented everything I found, taking photographs and making notes, knowing this discovery was beyond anything I had ever encountered before. The cave was vast, with narrow passageways branching off in different directions. I explored further, my flashlight illuminating walls adorned with more carvings. Some depicted scenes of people, ships on vast oceans, and creatures I didn't recognize, half beast, half human, like something out of mythology. It was as if the cave walls were a tapestry of the past, a silent record of a forgotten civilization. Along one wall, I found what appeared to be a map etched into the rock. The lines were faint, weathered by time, but I could make out coastlines and landmasses. This was more than just a treasure trove, it was a vault of history, preserved in the dark silence of the earth. As I made my way deeper into the cave, the air grew cooler, and the atmosphere felt heavy, almost oppressive. There was a sense of sacredness, as if this place was more than just a hiding spot for riches. I came across a large stone slab in the middle of a cavernous chamber. On it were more inscriptions, and surrounding the slab were smaller chests, each containing artifacts, tools, pottery, and more jewelry, each piece unique and clearly crafted with care. The treasure wasn't just monetary, it was cultural, a collection of objects that spoke of a people who had lived, thrived, and vanished, leaving behind only these relics. I sat there for a while, trying to piece together the story behind this treasure. The carvings, the artifacts, the map all suggested a civilization that valued beauty and craftsmanship, a people who had traveled far and wide. Had they been merchants? Explorers? Or perhaps, they had hidden their wealth here to protect it from invaders or natural disasters. The mystery added weight to the discovery, making it feel like more than just a collection of valuable items. It was a glimpse into the lives of people who had existed long before me, a connection across time. The discovery of the treasure cave became a defining moment in my life. I spent hours documenting every artifact, every carving, knowing that this find had to be shared with the world. I contacted historians, archaeologists, and local authorities, and soon a team arrived to study the cave in greater detail. The experts were as stunned as I had been, marveling at the craftsmanship and the historical significance of each piece. The cave was sealed off and carefully examined, ensuring that the artifacts would be preserved and studied to understand more about the people who had created them. As word of the discovery spread, the treasure cave became a source of fascination for people around the world. Scholars debated its origins, with some suggesting it was the remnants of a lost civilization, while others believed it was the hidden wealth of ancient merchants or nobility. The artifacts were put on display in museums, where they attracted visitors eager to see the mysterious treasure from the cliff cave. Each piece told its own story, a small but important piece of the puzzle that was the history of this long-forgotten people. Over time, the cave was recognized not just as a treasure trove, but as a site of historical and cultural significance. The carvings were translated, revealing insights into the beliefs, values, and lives of the people who had left them behind. It was discovered that the civilization had placed a high value on nature, harmony, and exploration. The map, once deciphered, indicated trade routes that extended across continents, showing that these people were not isolated but part of a vast network of trade and cultural exchange. Reflecting on the discovery, I felt an immense sense of gratitude. The treasure I had found was more than just gold and gems, it was a bridge to the past, a reminder of the ingenuity, resilience, and beauty of those who came before us. The treasure cave became a symbol of curiosity and discovery, a testament to the idea that the past is always waiting to be uncovered, hidden in the most unexpected places. I returned to the cliff many times after the initial discovery, sometimes just to sit and reflect on the significance of that find. The cave was now protected, its secrets carefully preserved, but the experience remained fresh in my memory. The thrill of finding something so extraordinary, the wonder of seeing ancient artifacts for the first time, and the feeling of connecting with a long-lost civilization had left an indelible mark on me. In the end, the treasure cave was more than just a collection of valuables, it was a story, a piece of history that had lain dormant for centuries, waiting for someone to uncover it. And as I stood before the cliff, gazing at the spot where my pickaxe had first struck that hollow sound, I realized that sometimes, the greatest treasures are not the ones we seek, but the ones we stumble upon when we're following our passions. This discovery reminded me that history is alive, waiting to be found, and that each of us has the potential to uncover something extraordinary, simply by daring to dig a little deeper.